With Absolute Martian Manhunter going on a brief hiatus after 6 issues, that has left a gap in DC's Absolute Comics release schedule, and they've decided to fill it with a special one-off story looking at the villains of this universe. The premise is pretty simple. Ra's al Ghul, Hector Hammond, Dr. Eleanor Thawne and the Joker come to meet Veronica Cale to discuss the mutual problems they're experiencing at the hands of a new generation of heroes that have popped up. The majority of this issue is told from the perspective of Hector Hammond, the last person to make it to this evil gathering, and he is suitably pompous and entitled, dressing down a guard for daring to ask him to adhere to the rules of the meeting. No devices. This immediately makes him unlikable and tells you everything you need to know about the man, just in case you weren't already reading Absolute Green Lantern. In this universe, these are some of the wealthiest and most powerful people in the world. Ra's al Ghul's Lazarus Corp owns much of the world and is at odds with Superman. Hector Hammond is one of Lazarus's competitors and is currently tangling with the Green Lanterns. Dr. Thawne is a scientist working for the mysterious Project Olympus and was indirectly responsible for creating the Flash. The Joker is one of the world's richest men, a humorless billionaire responsible for the Ark facilities, which are turning normal people into monsters and is causing Batman a spot of bother. And Cale is the director of Area 41, a government facility that deals exclusively with supernatural threats, like Wonder Woman. Now let's just get the spoilers out of the way now, because this issue has some pretty big revelations in it. The first thing I want to talk about is how this is the first comic to give the Joker a significant role in the Absolute Universe. Sure, we've seen him a few times, notably in Bane's origin issue of Absolute Batman, but he's only appeared a handful of times and said very little. And in this issue, he is the one to deliver the serious revelations. I like how the Joker is portrayed in this issue, particularly his black eyes. In some panels, his eyeballs are black with pinprick white pupils, a bit like his design in the new Batman adventures back in the day. Other times his eyes are bloodshot and sore looking, and sometimes he looks fairly normal. We know that he's some sort of beast because he drains the blood of babies to maintain his youth, but he looks utterly unhinged as he shares one of his secrets with the group. Using his resources, he has tasked a team of scientists to figure out how the universe works. I'm sure that we're all aware of the Boson-Higgs particle, one of the key building blocks of the universe, but his scientists discovered another smaller particle that determines how everything in the universe works, and it is inherently wicked. Joker describes it as having a moral gravity, bringing everything down. And because it is a natural force in the universe, that must mean that evil is just, that wickedness is right. The scientists that made the discovery looking at this Omega symbol weep when they realize the implications. There is no good, only evil. Joker argues that he and his cohorts are the elites, the chosen few who deserve wealth and power. They succeed because it is preordained. God is on their side. In order to help maintain the status quo, they need to align themselves, not because they are friends, but because it is just. They are the Justice League. I'm kind of surprised that I didn't see this coming, because this is a universe that was created by Darkseid. His Omega energy permeates everything. He is God in this universe. Ra's al Ghul discovered his father box years ago, and it speaks to him and his daughter. They work to bring about his future. Similarly, the energies that Dr. Thawne tampers with are like Omega energy. I don't think it's the Speed Force, because Darkseid wouldn't allow any other powerful force to exist. Wally's powers are likely Omega-based, which is why he runs the risk of becoming a monster in Absolute Flash. Although just because these billionaires are evil, that doesn't mean that all billionaires are. This issue introduces Oliver Queen as he trains to become Green Arrow. As part of the elites, he has seen the very worst that humanity has to offer, including a thinly veiled Jeffrey Epstein stand-in, and he feels that he has to do something about it. Unfortunately, his fellows are aware of what he's up to and have zero tolerance for disobedience. DC announced that an Absolute Green Arrow miniseries would be coming out in January, but curiously hasn't shown any promotional art for it beyond a logo. Well, this issue reveals why. Veronica Cale sicked Hawkman on him, who bashed his brains in and brought his broken corpse to the Justice League meeting for dramatic effect. Hammond and Thawne were reluctant to join the Justice League, but Queen's corpse makes it clear that this is not an invitation that you can refuse. Looking at the Absolute Hawkman, I'm pretty certain that this is the same guy seen in the flashback to the 1950s, where he turned stooge. It would certainly explain the bandages, giving him a mummy-like appearance. He sold out his friends, and I can infer that he sold his soul. While other Golden Age heroes were either murdered or were able to retire peacefully, Hawkman is still working for the government well into his 90s. This is the kind of justice that Darkseid's universe delivers. And I suppose the last thing to say about this issue is the final reveal. Brainiac confers with Mirror Master, who has knowledge of the mainline universe, and the two state that this league needs balance. Russ balances out Hammond, Thawne balances out Cale, but who can balance out the Joker? The answer is Lex Luthor. In this universe, he's a family man living with his wife and children on a ranch, enjoying the sunset. He says that once he was a jealous and angry man, always focusing on what he didn't have rather than what he did, but now he is at peace. At least until he receives a phone call, and he asks how he can help the mysterious caller. What kind of help can he provide? I guess we'll find out in the coming months. Absolute Evil is available now from all good comic shops. If you are based in the UK and don't have a comic shop near you, then you might want to use my affiliate link with the UK's biggest comic book retailer, Forbidden Planet. I have included a link in this video's description. Alternatively, if the idea of hoarding a collection of comic books fills you with dread, I just got back from LA Comic Con and resisted buying any comics. Am I dying? You may want to try getting a digital copy of the issue from Amazon. I also have an affiliate link with them, which you could use to help my channel out. This is included in the video's description. To those that have read this issue, what did you think? Anyone clamouring for an absolute justice society may find themselves feeling a bit dejected. What with Jay Garrick getting flung into an experimental energy field, Alan Scott running a diner, and now Sandman being executed and Wildcat taking a bribe. Do we even want to hear what happened to the rest of them? Similarly, if anyone was looking forward to reading the adventures of Absolute Oliver Queen, I must admit I didn't see him getting his skull caved in by Hawkman coming. This was an amusing take on their traditionally competitive relationship, with the conservative Hawkman often butting heads with the liberal Green Arrow. And I suppose with that in mind, it shouldn't be too surprising that Hawkman ratted out suspected communists in the 1950s. And finally, do you think there will be any consequences for Ra's al Ghul using the Mirror Master's tech to allow Brainiac to snoop on their meeting? I can't imagine Joker will take kindly to it. Let me know what you think in the comments below. Next time. This is a bumper week for Absolute Comics, and I'm going to resume shortly with a video about Absolute Superman number 12. In this issue, Superman shakes off the brainwashing he experienced at the hands of Brainiac, but Ra's al Ghul decrees that the people closest to him will suffer if he won't do as he's told. After that, I'll release a video about Absolute Green Lantern number 7, which kicks off the second big story arc. Now that the secret of the world that's coming has been revealed, it's time to see a new hero try to hold off the Black Stars, Tomar Ray. And soon afterwards, I'll release a video about the second issue of Matt Fraction's new Batman series. This time, Tim Drake finds himself in a spot of bother as he's arrested by the GCPD, and Batman has got to help him out. Hope to see you then.